Hello and welcome! In this video I would like to show you how I made an infinity swimsuit, if that is what this is called. This fabric, I'd say, is a tad bit thicker and heavier than your regular swimwear fabric, but I tried it with a stripe of it. It still dries quite quickly. So I have my 2 meters of fabric. I have a nice pile of books, a pair of scissors, pins, a measuring tape, and firm determination in my heart that I am going to overcome my fear of working with this type of fabric. I hate this fabric. I start to create the long stripes. I have the fabric folded in 2 layers, but I work on the edge, not the folded side. What I do now is measuring the 32 centimeters from the edges and pinning here and there, but mostly putting the books on it to weigh it down. I don't plan on getting rid of the selvage. I have to fold it inwards anyway, so it's not going to be that visible. Again, I'm just trying to make my workload less because, well, this fabric is just... Well, it's more or less a straight line. Try not to pull on the fabric while you cut it, as it is going to distort it due to its stretchiness. Just slightly fold it out of your way. I'm going to set this aside for now. I have the rest of the fabric in front of me. I traced the pattern of actually 2 of my underwears, because I like the front on one of them and I like the back on the other. So for the front, I'm gonna cut it from a single layer later. But now for the back, I will need 2 mirrored pieces. For that, I place the pattern like this. I measure this special elastic that is used in swimwear. I need to leave the seam allowance just as wide as this elastic. Then I continue with the front piece. I put it on a single layer and I'm trying to leave as little of scrap fabric as possible. Again, don't pull the fabric, just slightly lift it. I pinned the pieces together with safety pins, just so I could try it on and see if it's comfortable. If the elasticity percentage is different in the underwear's fabrics I traced, and this fabric I'm working with now, then I will have problems with the fitting. And I had a hunch that it is going to be the case, but still hoped it will work out. Well, it did not. It was too small, so I had to cut new pieces with additional fabric on the sides. There goes my attempt on being conscious and not to leave too much of scrap fabric. On my bottom, it is not smooth. There are places where it is not fit and tight, probably because the different underwear pattern pieces that do not match well. So I need to pull some fabric from the bottom pattern piece to make it tighter. It looks like this, somewhat diagonal at the crotch. I've made 3 loops out of the elastic band. 1 for my hip and 2 for my legs. And now what I'm gonna do is marking the quarters on the elastic like this. Before adding the elastic, I cut off this corner, making it easier to match the loop on it. I cut the excess seam allowance at the crotch. And now, finally, I also mark the quarters on the fabric and match them with the quarters on the elastic. I sew it on with a zigzag stitch. Fold it back and sew along the edge with a regular straight stitch. Not exactly on the edge, more like 1 centimeter from the edge, approximately. On the bottom, I folded it back more generously. It is part of the process to make it smooth on my bottom. I repeat this same process on the other leg and the hip line. You know, when there is no full lining in the swimwear, there will be at least a tiny bit of fabric at the crotch. I'm not exactly sure why it is necessary. Although I have a couple of ideas, I'd rather not elaborate them now. Now to gather the stripes, I run a double thread through the fabric, about 1-2 centimeters far from the edge, and measure it. If I measure my hips from one side seam to the other, then the length of the gathering of a single stripe is almost 30% of the full length. It may vary if you don't want to have a gap in the middle between the stripes, or if you want to leave it wider to have an even better covering on your chest, and so on. I attached the stripes on the bottom with some safety pins. It looks nice already, right? Except that when I was making the gathering, I had both stripes in front of me on the table and still managed to gather the two ends of the same stripe. So, well, I had to repeat it with the other stripe and fix it. So, this is the final look. This is the amount of skin I am comfortable with showing in this video, but hey, at least this outfit empowers me to feel that I could conduct an aerobic dance class anytime. I hope this tutorial will help you out, and thanks for sticking around.